In this video, we're going to learn how to deal with long research readings. So first off, where are we in our process? We're currently in the read and evaluate stage of our process, which means I will need to judge if sources are reputable and useful to my narrow topic or question. So where do I start? First, you need to prioritize your reading. All right, that means you need to decide which ones you're going to read first, which ones you're going to read second, which ones you're going to read third. So deal with time-sensitive tasks, then easier or short tasks first. Now, you might have been taught to deal with hard ones first, hard tasks first before you get to the easy ones. But my recommendation for you is first deal with things that are due first, all right? Things that have time, and then deal with easier or short tasks. Then the hard ones, all right? Read the abstract or the summary. Identify and write down keywords and terms the author uses. Okay, so the abstract is usually a summary when you're dealing with secondary sources, so make sure you deal with that first. All right, secondary sources that are journal articles. Look at them. Sometimes the author is already going to make a list. Sometimes you have to read through the little paragraph to identify those keywords. You can use those to find more sources. The next thing to look for is to scan through the headings. Look at the headings and decide which are the useful ones that you're going to need to know. You're going to need to read in depth. So skip through it. Don't read everything by word. Just look at the titles. All right. Once you've gone through and identified the sections of the paper that you need to look at, you can skim the whole article, but don't read every word. Just quickly go over any sections that you like in any order and read enough just to get the idea of those paragraphs or sections. All right. That's all you really need to do at this point, just to skim through to get a feeling of what this article is about. Read carefully. This is the time that you will then go through the headings that you've checked off or you've identified that you're going to read in detail. Now, I'd always recommend doing it on paper, but if you have to do it online, just skip down to those sections, right? Read only the sections you chose when you scanned the headings and decided which ones you want to read. And these are the ones you have to read carefully on. You may not have time to read a 30 to 60 page paper, 100 page paper, but you have enough time to read those little sections that you've identified. Now, some of them may be longer, but at least it's not reading the entire 60 page document. All right. You can read the whole thing later when you have time, if you have time. But right now, you only are going to harvest the areas that you're going to look at. Okay. So then what do I do while I'm reading? And then after that. So you don't just read it and don't take any notes. Okay. So if you're going to need to know what to do with things. So I would recommend highlighting the article or copying and pasting the important quotes to a separate document. You need to organize your notes on a separate document or paper, and that's where you're going to drop your the copy and pasted quotations. All right. So if you have a physical version of the document, then you need to highlight it. If you're doing it digital, then you can highlight on the digital things. Sometimes different apps like ProQuest or Gale, they're going to have the ability to highlight these things and save it, but not everyone will. So you're going to have to keep a separate document. Okay. Then reflect on the source. So like you got to think about your source, and these are the things you need to think about. You know, how the article connects or doesn't connect to your topic or your work. Okay, what are the ideas that are interesting that you need to find out more information on? So what are some of those ideas? All right, where the article is not clear or confusing. Where is it confusing? Where is it not clear? Highlight those. All right. Where the article conflicts or agrees with other articles. So if you're reading a bunch of sources, sometimes you're going to see conflicts. They're going to say different things. Are they both wrong? Are they both right? I don't know. You don't know. Identify them. Make a note of them. All right. Questions you have about what you've learned. All right. There's going to be a lot of people out there that disagree about things because there's different ways of looking at the world. All right. So some people see things more like math. Other people see things more like feelings. All right. Both are valid. All right, and so sometimes they'll have understandings of the same thing that conflict, and that's okay. All right, our world is made for conflicts, and those conflicts, when we disagree, allows us to talk and then perhaps see the world in other people's eyes better. And that's the purpose of doing research, is figuring out, how people see the world. How can that help me see the world better? And then understanding more than one way of looking at things. Okay, thank you.